اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. صلوات پڑھیں.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
شاہ کی لاڈلی جب قیدی زندان ہوئی، روئی گھبرائی بہت پریشان ہوئی، قید خانے کی گھٹن موت کا سامان ہوئی، جان لگتا تھا کہ معصوم کی بے جان ہوئی، لاش شبیر کی مقتل میں تڑپ جاتی تھی، قید خانے سے جو بتی کی صدا آتی تھی، اب مجھے کوئی سکینہ نہیں کہتا، اب مجھے کوئی سکینہ نہیں کہتا، کہتا ہے کوئی، کہتا ہے کوئی، کوئی یتیمہ بابا، اب مجھے کوئی سکینہ نہیں کہتا، اب مجھے کوئی سکینہ نہیں کہتا، میں بیان کیسے کروں اپنی مصیبت تم سے، میں بیان کیسے کروں اپنی مصیبت تم سے، کیا کروں اپنے تماشوں کی شکایت تم سے، سنتی ہوں بات نہ کھایا تو تماشے تیرا بابا، اب مجھے کوئی سکینہ نہیں کہتا، آپ تھے دور تو میں سارے ستم سہتی رہی، آپ تھے دور تو میں سارے ستم سہتی رہی، رو پڑی اب مجھے کوئی سکینہ نہیں کہتا میری آنکھوں سے بہے جاتے تھے آنسو اس دم میری آنکھوں سے بہے جاتے تھے آنسو اس دم ہاتھ بھی میرے لگا یا نہیں دادی کی قسم دینا چاہا تھا مجھے دینا چاہا تھا مجھے لوگوں نے صدقہ بابا اب مجھے کوئی سکینہ نہیں کہتا اس گھڑی ڈھونڈ رہی تھی میں چچا جان کا سر اس گھڑی ڈھونڈ رہی تھی میں چچا جان کا سر کیسے بتلاؤں کہ کیا گزری تیری بیٹی پر ہائے مجھ کو ظالم نے ہائے مجھ کو ظالم نے کنیزی نے جو مانگا بابا اب مجھے کوئی سکینہ نہیں کہتا بین یہ کہتے ہی خاموش ہوئی وہ اکبر بین یہ کہتی ہی خاموش ہوئی وہ اکبر آج تو جائیں گے تا اپنے مجھے بھی لے کر آپ کو میری قدم آپ کو میری قدم کیجیے وعدہ بابا اب مجھے کوئی سکینہ نہیں کہتا
کیا کہنے اللہم صلی اللہ محمد وآل محمد محمد وآل محمد صلوات اللہم صلی اللہ محمد
آگے پیچھے ہو رہا تھا آواز جب نکالوں نا تو سیٹی کی طرح ایک دم لگتی ہے آواز
زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ جس سینے پہ سوتی تھی ہے جس سینے پہ سوتی تھی معصوم سکینہ ہر سمت ذرا زانے بابا کو نہ روؤں گی، میں گود میں مادر کی آرام سے سوؤں گی، بے رحم لعینوں نے ہے بے رحم لعینوں نے فریاد سنی نا، زندہ بے سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، زندہ بے سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، ہر وقت چمکتا تھا کربل میں مدینے میں، تعویذ کی مانند تھا شبیر کے سینے میں، گم ہو گیا وہ کیسے ہے گم ہو گیا وہ کیسے، زندہ میں نگینا، زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، رخسار میں نانا کو محشر میں دکھاؤں گی، روداد میں زندہ کی رو رو کے سناؤں گی، پابندی ہے رونے پہ ہے پابندی ہے رونے پہ، کہتے ہیں وہ ظالم، زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، دربار سکینہ کو زندان میں کفن کر کے سجادے کہتے تھے نا کفن نہ مر کے، حشر لائے گی ہے حشر لائے گی تیری موت سکینہ، زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، جس سینے پہ سوتی تھی ہے جس سینے پہ سوتی تھی معصوم سکینہ، زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، زندہ میں سکینہ کو یاد آیا وہ سینہ، صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله
اب اور لائے گی سکینہ ہر ایک کو اب اور لائے گی سکینہ لگتا ہے وطن جا نہیں پائے گی سکینہ ہر ایک کو اب اور لائے گی سکینہ لگتا ہے وطن جا نہیں پائے گی سکینہ سرور کی یتیمہ کا ہے اللہ نگہبان سرور کی یتیمہ کا ہے اللہ نگہبان بن باپ کی بچی کو ستاتے نہیں ہیں اسے کہ دلوں کی اذیت سے ڈراتے نہیں ہیں اسے کہ دلوں کی اذیت سے ڈراتے نہیں ایسے اب کوئی نہیں کس کو بلائے گی سکینہ لگتا ہے وطن جا نہیں پائے گی سکینہ اور سرور کی یتیمہ کا ہے اللہ نگہبان کانوں سے لہو بہتا ہے اور پشت ہے زخمی کہ کانوں سے لہو بہتا ہے اور پشت ہے زخمی شمر یہ کہتا ہے کرو اور بھی زخمی عباس نہیں کس کو بلائے گی سکینہ عباس نہیں کس کو بلائے گی سکینہ لگتا ہے وطن جا نہیں پائے گی سکینہ سرور کی یتیمہ کا ہے اللہ نگہبان یہ قید ستم اور یہ سکینہ کا مقدر کہ یہ قید ستم لگتا ہے نہیں واپس نہیں جائے گی سکینہ اور سرور کی یتیمہ کا ہے اللہ نگہبان دن رات تڑپتی ہے یہ فرقت میں پدر کے اور کانپ اٹھتی ہے سونے میں بھی یہ شمر کے ڈر سے دن ایسے بھی تقدیر دکھائے گی سکینہ ہر ایک کو لگتا ہے وطن جا نہیں پائے گی سکینہ اور سرور کی یتیمہ کا ہے اللہ نگہبان آفت میں گرفتار ہے یہ درد کی ماری کہ آفت میں گرفتار ہے یہ درد کی ماری ارے بے ہوش ہوئی کھا کے تماچے کئی باری اب درد و علم کتنا اٹھائے گی سکینہ لگتا ہے وطن جا نہیں پائے گی سکینہ اور سرور کی یتیمہ کا ہے اللہ نگہبان اور یہ آپ کو شعر زندان کے اندھیرے میں مصیبت کا ہے سایہ کہ زندان کے اندھیرے میں ہے مصیبت کا سایہ کہ دربان گھڑکتا ہے اگر روتی ہے دکھیا تقدیر یہ زندہ میں اٹھائے گی سکینہ لگتا ہے وطن جا نہیں پائے گی سکینہ اور سرور کی یتیمہ کا ہے اللہ نگہبان سرور کی یتیمہ کا ہے اللہ نگہبان
برای خشنودی محمد واری محمد صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد
ایک بار اور صلوات بھیجتے ہیں سلام کی چند اشعار پیش کر رہا ہوں، سماعت فرمائیے گا.
ذکر شہ کر کے محبوں کو رلایا میں نے، ذکر شہ کر کے محبوں کو رلایا میں نے، اور اپنا گھر نجرئی جنت میں بنایا میں نے، ذکر شہ کر کے محبوں کو رلایا میں نے، شہ نے فرمایا کروں گا نہ گلا امت کا، شہ نے فرمایا کروں گا نہ گلا امت کا، پانی دو روز نہ پایا تو نہ پایا میں نے، ذکر شہ کر کے محبوں کو رلایا میں نے، اور حر کے مرنے اور شاہ کہتے تھے کہ پیاسا میرا مہمان ہوا تھا، شاہ کہتے تھے کہ پیاسا میرا مہمان ہوا تھا، حر کے مرنے کا عجب رنج اٹھایا میں نے، ذکر شہ کر کے محبوں کو رلایا میں نے، اور آئی آواز علی کی نہ پڑھو اے بیٹا، آئی آواز علی کی نہ پڑھو اے بیٹا، آب کوثر تیرے میرے ماں کو پلایا ذکر شہ کر کے محبوں کو رلایا میں نے، اور شہ نے فرمایا میرے بھائی کے بازو کاٹے، شہ نے فرمایا میرے بھائی کے بازو
के मोहे हो रुलाया
فاتحہ عابد کو جب یزید سے بابا کا سر ملا عابد کو جب یزید سے بابا کا سر ملا سر کا ملا کے مرہم میں زخم جگر ملا مدت کے بعد باپ کے سر سے سر ملا ماہ سفر میں شام سے حکم سفر ملا ماہ سفر میں شام سے حکم سفر ملا دیکھو جو اہل بیت نے فرق جناب کو تاروں نے آ کے گھیر لیا ماہتاب کو تاروں نے آ کے گھیر لیا ماہتاب کو بہنوں نے باری باری لیا گود میں غسل زینب نے ہوٹ رکھ دیے بھائی کے ہوٹ پر دریا بہا کے عشق کے بولی منوہر بھیا پھری ہے آپ کی ہمشیر در بدر بھیا پھری ہے آپ کی ہمشیر در بدر جس روز سے جدا ہوئی میں دم سے آپ کے نیزوں سے پشت زخمی ہے دل غم سے آپ کے نیزوں سے پشت زخمی ہے دل غم سے آپ کے بھیا ہماری تم کو خبر بھی ہے یا نہیں بھیا ہمارے سر سے ردائیں اتار بھیا تمہاری بہنیں یہاں رسی میں بندھی بھیا تمہاری بیٹی کے حیثیلیاں لگی بھیا تمہاری بیٹی کے حیثیلیاں لگی زندہ ہمارے حال پا اس غم شریر ہے بھیا ہمیں ایک رسی میں بارہ سیر ہے بھیا ہمیں ایک رسی میں بارہ تیر ہے 10 ماہ کی 20 ماہ بھی ہوا قید ہی میں ہائے بھیا تمہارا فاتحہ بھی ہم نہ کرنے پائے کہنا کر کتنا کہا یہاں کوئی بھائی کے سر کو لائے پر کیا شقاوت ان کی یہ خواہر تمہیں سنا پر کیا شقاوت ان کی یہ خواہر تمہیں سنا جب فاتحہ کا آپ کے ہم نام لیتے ہیں پانی بھی اس دن ہم کو یہ ناری نہ دیتے ہیں پانی بھی اس دن ہم کو یہ ناری نہ
عرش ہل گیا زینب خاموش باش کے اب عرش ہل گیا اب یہ بتاؤ شاہ ولایت کے واسطے کچھ بدعا تو کی نہیں امت کے واسطے کچھ بدعا تو کی نہیں امت کے واسطے زینب سے کہہ رہا تھا یہ فرق شہ خدا ناگاہ آئے حضرت سجاد بے دوا زینب سے ہاتھ باندھ کے بولے کہ میں فدا اما کہا ہے اے پھوپھی دے ہم کو وہ دوا اما کہا ہے اے پھوپھی دے ہم کو وہ دوا سب ہے یہاں پر میری جان جاتی ہے بالوں کے رونے کی نہیں آواز آتی ہے بالوں کے رونے کی نہیں آواز آتی ہے گھبرا گئی یہ سنتے ہی زینب بسط ہوا ڈھونڈا ہر ایک سمت کو چشمے کو پہچان دیکھا سکینہ مالکہ نکلا تھا واقش میں تھی پڑی ہوئی بانوئے ناتوا واقش میں تھی پڑی ہوئی بانوئے ناتوا ارے سینہ ہے چاک چاک تو دل دردمند ہے سکینہ جان کا نوحہ بلند ہے سکینہ جان کا نوحہ بلند بھاوچ بہا کے گر پڑی زینب چشم تر چھاتی سے سر لگا کے پکاری وہ نوحہ گر رونا تو ہے نصیبوں میں اے بھابی عمر بھر سر آیا ہے حسین کا کچھ ہے تمہیں خبر سر آیا ہے حسین کا کچھ ہے تمہیں خبر اٹھو کے چھوٹا قید سے کنوا امام کا ماتم کرو حسین علیہ السلام کا ماتم کرو حسین علیہ السلام کا رخصت ہوئے لہر سے غرضوں کے سب حرام بانو پکاری کرتے ہیں اقرار تم سے ہم بھولیں گے فاتحہ تیرا جب طلب ہے ہم نادا صدا مزار سے آئی چشمہ نادا صدا مزار سے آئی چشمہ وہ ہے میرے شریک میری پیاس کے شریک دل بنا فاتحہ میرا عباس کے شریک دل بنا فاتحہ میرا عباس کے شریک عابد کو جب یزید سے بابا کا سر
السلام علیکم.
First of all, request for one Surah Fatiha. Include the name on our memorial board. Your Mahumeen, all Shoda, and particularly the sponsors of today's Majlis, their Mahumeen, one Surah Fatiha. Just a quick announcement. There's a woman in Pakistan, Sadat woman. He is sick, about 50 years old. He is diagnosed as a blood cancer patient. Currently, he's in a Shaukat Khanam hospital in Pakistan, and they're trying to raise the money for him. They are very hopeful that he will get the treatment. Because they are asking is about 25 to 30,000 US dollar, and this is after discount in Shaukat Khanam Royal Hospital in Pakistan. So Akil is trying to raise some money here. If you would like to help this moment, please help us. And Akil, you can contact Akil. He's collecting all the donations. So far, he has about $2,000, and we are targeting about $6,000 to $7,000 here. So maybe if you have a homes or other donations, you can help him. Tomorrow we are going to start a series of 4 Majalis. Majalis is Chehlu mein Shoda Karbala, and Dr. Nasir Zaidi will be here, inshallah, starting Sunday tomorrow to 6th of September. That will be the day of Chehlu. Inshallah, and same day there will be a walk from Zainabia Islamic Society to Wadi Hussain on a town street. It's about 1 or 2 miles. So that walk will start about before Zohar, and so parking lot will be open. You can come here, you can park your car, and you can go and you can come back and take your car. So only parking lot will be open. You can park your car here for the walk. Today is the second and the last speech of the series of 2 Majalis. On behalf of the Zainabia Islamic Society and all the members, again I would like to thank you, Sheikh, for coming here. Excellent speeches, and we are so pleased to honor you here and to welcome you here, and looking forward to welcome you again in near future, not very far. And with your loud salawat, I would request Sheikh Dr. Mehdi Hazari to come to the member and address the Majlis.
खुशनुदिया सईद शुहदा अलैहिस्सलाम सलावत अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद। बराए खुशनुदिया इमाम ज़माना बुलंदतर सलावत अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद। الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله، وعلى أهل بيتك المعصومين الأبرار الميامين المظلومين المضطهدين. السلام عليك وعلى ولدك المظلوم أبي عبد الله الحسين يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة يا غريب يا مظلوم يا عطشان كربلاء ما خاب والله من تمسك بكم أمن من لجأ والتجأ إليكم يا ليتنا فيا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أولئك الذين اشتروا الضلالة بالهدى فما ربحت تجارتهم وما كانوا مهتدين. مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. My dear brothers and sisters, thank you once again for giving me this honor of commemorating with you. Inshallah, I will remember you in my dua. Please remember me and yours. In continuing the simple discussion we had yesterday, let me begin by describing when Imam Ali alayhi salatu was salam when he assumed the position of Khilafah, and he was always the Khalifa of Allah, that goes without saying. When he assumed that position, the worldly position of Khilafah, one of the things he did was immediately send out communications to the people who he trusted, people who he knew will follow his instructions and implement the religion of Allah the way Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam as our beloved Rasul had wanted. One of the letters was sent to a man named Harith al-Hamadani. Harith was one of the tabi'un. He was one of the followers of Imam Ali alayhi salam, and he was in Kufa. And it is related that he was of the very devoted followers of Imam Ali alayhi salam. So in one of the letters, Imam Ali, is a long letter, he sends to him, he gives him some instructions. He says to Harith, he says, the first thing is that you should always adhere to the Quran. Always adhere to the Quran. The Quran is that guide, it is that code, it is the map that will tell you how to get to your destination. It will point to you good from bad. Yesterday we talked about blindness and those who can see. We talked about those who know and those who don't know. We talked about khabith and tayyib, those who are corrupt and evil and those who are pure and good. Quran will always distinguish these two things. It will always point to you where it is you must be, in what direction you are headed. Imam Ali alayhi salam, in that same letter to Harith al-Hamadani, he also says, always remember two things. One is Allah. Always have the remembrance of God in your heart. Never forget God. And number two, remember death. Remember where you are going. Remember where you're going to end up inevitably. Always do so. Imam, in the same letter, he says to Harith al-Hamadani, he says, adhere to a few things. One of those is that always show forbearance. Always be somebody who has hilm. Hilm meaning you tolerate the behavior of people. You are not angry, you don't react in a negative manner. And Imam says particularly when there is rage involved, when there's anger involved. When you get angered, when something bothers you, and someone mistreats you or does something that upsets you, act with forbearance. Act with patience. Don't lose control. Also, Imam Ali, he says to him that all of the favors of Allah on you, the ni'mah that Allah has given, make sure you don't waste them. Make sure that you use them the way Allah intended and don't waste them. And then he says something very important. He says, O Harith, avoid three things. Avoid three things. And this is where I ask for your attention. One, avoid something that you like for yourself, but that you don't want for other Muslims. Avoid that. Look, our world today, maybe Imam knew for sure. Our world is dominated by what? Self-interest, right? Self-interest. He said avoid those things that you like for yourself, but you don't like for others. Stay away from that. He says number two, avoid that which if you did it in private, you would be ashamed of doing it in public. Avoid doing that which you would do in private, but in public you would be ashamed. And number three, he says avoid any action that if someone came and asked you why you did it, you would not have a justification why you did it. Imagine, this is insan. These three things are insan. What Imam is telling us to avoid. Avoid self-interest, doing that which is good for me but not for everyone else. We always do that. We suit ourselves first and we don't care about anybody else. Avoid anything that is shameful in the eyes of people, but you are doing it privately. Stay away from those things. And avoid any action that you don't know the basis for it. You don't know the justification for it. Know exactly where it is, the source of your action is. My dear brothers and sisters, this is belief. This is Iman. This is the very core of Iman. And the letters of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, he gives these practical lessons to his companions. But you see that these lessons are not just about some instruction you have to put together in life to follow. Its root is Iman. And so some will ask, why do we need all of this? And there were those people in the times of our Imams, you know, that there was a group of people known as the Murji'ah. The Murji'ah, in the time, particularly in the times when the Abbasi Khilafah was there, the Murji'ah were the people who basically said, you cannot establish or confirm the Iman of someone based on their action. So a person can go kill someone, rob from someone, steal from someone, but as long as they believe in their heart, they're okay. It's between them and God. They had this belief. They were called the Murji'ah. And then in the end, on the day of judgment, Allah will judge them based on their Iman, not their action. Clearly, we know Samahat al-Sayyid here. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid. So we know that this is not the case. And we know that by no means is Iman just a means by which I can feel good in my heart, confirm something that I hold to be sacred, and then go about acting in a manner that is contrary to that. Iman is about action. And that's why you see, even if you take the example of Surah Al-Baqarah in the beginning, let's say the first 16 ayat of the Holy Quran in this blessed surah, look at the description of what Allah describes. The first 2 or 3 ayat are description of the believer. That the believer is one who believes in the unseen. He or she believes in what Allah has disseminated through His messengers, believes in the things that they consider to be certain and have certainty in whatever they hold to be sacred. And then he describes the kuffar. The kuffar are those who deny. And not only do they deny, but whether you warn them or you don't warn them, they won't accept. They will deny the belief. Now, let's stop here, just briefly. Iman and kufr, as they exist inside of an insan, are they extremes or are they a spectrum? Okay? Let me give you a different example. Okay? Would you say miserliness and generosity are extremes in an individual, or are they a spectrum? They're a spectrum, no? So if I were to come to you and on a day when I've had my food, no? I can already smell the biryani outside. I don't know what they're making. Maybe someone made gulab jamun like I was hinting at yesterday. No, I'm just joking. I've eaten my biryani and someone has come hungry and I give them the biryani to eat also. Is that an act of generosity? No, because I've eaten already. I've already eaten. So it doesn't matter whether I feed them or not. But let's say I'm hungry and there's only one plate of biryani left. No, you give it away and you let them eat. How do you gauge generosity and lack of generosity or miserliness? On a spectrum. There are days we are more generous than we are miserly. And there are days we are more miserly than we are generous. We are on a spectrum. To some degree, Iman and Kufr is not like this. Because Kufr is not just the denial of God. Kufr is many things. Kufr in the Holy Quran, Kufr as described by A'imma al-Athhar, is many, many things. Is many things. If at one moment I acknowledge that Allah has given me food, water, drinks, security, safety over my head, I have done the shukr of Allah. But let's say I don't. Let's say I don't acknowledge Allah. Then what? Then where have I gone? Kufr. Kufr. And look, you can swap them, no? To some degree. What does the Holy Quran say? وَمَنْ يَتَبَدَّلَ الْكُفْرَ بِالْإِيمَانِ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. Those who replace Iman with Kufr, what have they done? They have taken a misguided path. No? Now, it's strange. How do you replace Iman and then put Kufr in it? How do you do this? That means that you must have some understanding of what Iman is to be able to replace it with Kufr. No? You would assume that someone who doesn't believe doesn't know what belief is or rejects it. Clearly you know what belief is and you are actively choosing Kufr to replace it with. Are you not? You are. And that's why even the other ayah of the Quran, how subtly it will describe. It says, هُمْ لِلْكُفْرِ يَوْمَئِذٍ أَقْرَبُ مِنْهُمْ لِلْإِيمَانِ. They on that day, the ayah it reveals, they are closer to denial, to disbelief than they are to Iman. They are closer to kufr than they are to Iman. Why? Because insan is so prone to slipping. And Iman and kufr is not just about I believe in God or don't believe in God. That is one form of kufr. Kufr al-juhud, it means you have denied God's existence. You have denied the presence of the supreme authority, His religion, etc. But kufr is also, you deny His ni'mah on you. Do you not? And what does, when the throne of Sulaiman came right in front of him, yes, what did he say? هذا من فضل ربي ليبلوني أأشكر أم. He says, should I thank because the throne is in front of me, or what should I do? Not thank. No. He said, either I thank or I do what? Kufr. Kufr. إِنَّ هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلِ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. Either you are grateful or you are doing what? Kufr. Denial. This is the subtlety of what the Quran is teaching. And the beauty of the Quran is it will reflect it to you. It will show it to you very, very clearly that examine what you look like. Look at your inside. And that is the aspect that we sometimes don't consider, my dear brothers and sisters. We falter because we assume I have been given the badge of Iman, I am a mu'min, So suddenly kufr cannot touch me. Kufr can't touch me. And indeed, no one is saying that you are a kafir and that you have denied God. It is to understand the subtlety of our position. Our denial of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, however subtle that may be, however shaded that may be. And that's why you see the verses of the Quran, they point to this constantly. And in Surah Al-Baqarah, as I was mentioning to you, when it finishes, only a few ayahs in the beginning about Iman, only a few ayahs about one or two about kufr, and then it goes to another topic. The topic that we have discussed over and over through many, many years, many centuries, and that has been dealt with quite severely in the Holy Quran. Yet, it's something that bears a little reflection. Why? Because it's a part of us to some degree. It has some reflection on my sensibility. What do I mean by that? Okay, I will give you an example. If I go to work, I walk in the door, yes. The night before, I didn't sleep very well. I ate too much biryani. I had the 5 gulab jamun I was telling you about yesterday. My stomach was hurting all night. I didn't sleep. I go into work. I walk in. I'm walking down the hall. My colleague is walking in front of me. He says to me, "Good morning. How are you doing?" What do you think my answer is going to be? I'm fine, right? Wouldn't you do the same thing? Or would you unload on your colleague? Man, I had such a rough night. I had biryani, I had gulab jamun, my stomach was hurting, I didn't sleep, I was sweating, I had to go to the bathroom 10 times, everything. No, what will I say? I'll say I'm fine, right? I'm good, good, how are you? And you keep going. No. What have you done? You lied. Didn't you lie? It's a white lie. It's a simple, harmless lie, but it's a lie nonetheless. No. It's a harmless lie, but it's a lie. And what have you done at the same time? You have projected something in front to the colleague that is different from what is inside. It's harmless. Does it have any meaning? No, it doesn't have any meaning. But what have you done? You have projected something in front of that colleague. You have given a face to that colleague that is different from what is inside of you. Do we not do this? We do this all the time. All the time. And sometimes it's not even this simple. It's not even that simple. Hypocrisy, right? These ayat of the Holy Quran that are in Surah Al-Baqarah, they describe hypocrisy. Why? Why so much time? One, because it is a great disease. Because one of the greatest assaults on the nation of Islam, this new nation that Rasulullah was building, was from the hypocrites. Now let me give you another example. Okay. Who here believes that stealing is bad? Let's make a note. Nobody raised their hand. Stealing is bad, no? So let's say you come and you are making a statement to me. I'm standing here. I will only make my own self as an example. You come and you say, stealing is really bad. It's not a good thing to do. You can't take the property of someone. And I say, I don't steal. That's all I say. I don't steal. Meanwhile, I steal all the time. All right? I'm a walking klepto. I'm grabbing things I'm putting in my pocket and stealing from people. I see this lying around, I grab it, okay? I steal all the time. I have lied to you. Now let's say the same situation comes up. You come to me and you say, stealing is bad. It's not good to take the property of somebody else. What do? I say, you're right. Stealing is immoral. It is horrible. It's the worst thing you can do to somebody. It's the thing that damages society. You hurt the rights. You take the rights of somebody else. It's a terrible thing to do. And then I go steal. Which is worse? The lie or the hypocrisy? Which is worse? Who says hypocrisy? Who says lie? Who doesn't want to answer? And none of you want to answer. The lie is bad. You lied. You said you don't steal when actually you steal. But hypocrisy is worse. Why? Because I have manipulated you. I manipulated you to think something that you don't think. Here I just lied. You don't think anything about me. You just don't know the truth. But here I've manipulated you to think that I believe what you believe, meanwhile I'm doing the opposite. You see the power of hypocrisy. It makes you think that I have the same standard, the same morality as you, meanwhile I'm doing exactly the opposite. So why does insan do this? You know, there are psychological studies done on this that point to the fact that human beings have hypocrisy embedded into them. That white lie I told you is just one small example of this. One small example. They did a study in which they got a group of participants and they said to them, look, we're going to assign tasks, 2 tasks. You will get one or the other. One task is a good task, it's fun, it's enjoyable, and you get a reward with it. The other task is boring and mundane, you just have to do that work. You have to decide. They called the participants and they said, you have to decide for yourself and these other group of participants who gets which task. Half will get task 1, the one that's enjoyable, that gets a reward. Half will get the task that is not good. They asked, how do we decide? They said, you will roll a dice. You will roll a dice, not a dice, it's a coin actually, 2-sided coin. One coin says task 1, the other side says task 2. So for each participant, you'll flip the coin. If it comes to 1, they will do task 1. If it comes 2, they do task 2. Then they ask the participants, they say, is this fair? This is fair? The participants all agree. They said it's fair because 50-50 chance, right? You either get task 1, that is enjoyable, that's good, or task 2, that's just work. It is not. So they let them do it, and they watched them secretly. They watched them secretly. You know what they determined? So many people didn't even flip the coin. They randomly were assigning. And when it came to themselves, you know which one they chose? The good task. Moreover, if there were people in the group who were like them, meaning they were of the same race or ethnicity or same social group as them, they gave those people also the good task. Anyone who was not like them, what did they do? They gave them the bad task. You see how hypocrisy can change society, huh? Ya Allah, I hope you're seeing where I'm going with this. After demise of Rasulullah, how allocation of position, how allocation of resources, where it goes. That's why hypocrisy is mentioned so much in the Quran. So much in the Quran it is mentioned. And so people postulate, they wonder, they theorize, why? Why does insan do this? Why does insan project one thing in front and behind is something else? No. Today in politics, it's happening all the time. Constantly, no? Where you have these conservative politicians who are coming out and saying, this is immoral, we are against this, meanwhile secretly they're doing it. It was in the news, even. And one wonders, how is that possible? Well, one is because it's easy to be a hypocrite. It's easier. It's easier for me to claim to be a moral human being, to pretend to be moral, and behind the scenes not do what I am required to do. Morality requires work. To be a true human being, true servant of God, someone who upholds the truth is hard, is difficult, is not easy. It requires effort and struggle and sacrifice. So to be a hypocrite is very easy because you can talk and say everyone should do it, behind the scenes you don't. It's easy. Number 2, people who are hypocritical, who have hypocrisy and nifaq inside of them, they do one thing very often. They weigh the balance of what is in their favor and what is against them. Always. They will look to see what is beneficial or in favor for them and what is not, what is against them, constantly. And when it is stacked in their favor, they will act to support that view. When it is not, they won't, right? You know that after the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, that when Abu Sufyan came to Imam Ali alayhi salam. What did he say? He said, Ya Abul Hasan, we all know that you are the rightful successor. Tell me now, I will bring the men at your service, and we will ensure that the Khilafah, the leadership, comes to you. And Amir al-Mu'mineen's words, it's reported that he immediately shunned him. And he said to him, go, I need nothing from you. I need no support from you. You have always been a munafiq. You have never been true to the path of God. Move from here. The third thing people describe why there is a sense of hypocrisy in us is because we want to feel association, my dears. Okay? We want to feel like we are part of a group. We want to feel like we belong to something. That is very important. Even if we don't agree with that group. Even if being a part of that group is not beneficial to us. We want to be a part of that group. And you see that everywhere. I may not share your views, but I want to benefit from what you have. I don't agree with your philosophy or your morality or your standard of practice, but I want to ensure that whatever benefit, whatever resources, whatever power you have, that I can avail myself of them. So I will do whatever I can to be associated with you so that I can. It's simple, no? And that's why the Holy Quran mentions the concept of nifaq and why it is such a disease. Why it is that the projection of one image outside and another one inside being different is so problematic, particularly when it comes to deen. Now the ayah I recited for you from Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does he say? He says, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرَوُا الضَّلَالَةَ بِالْهُدَىٰ فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. He says, these are the people, the ones who come with one face and inside they have something else. They are the ones who have sold away guidance and instead chosen misguidance in its place. And their transaction is not going to benefit them in any way. And more worse, or more so, they will not be guided. Now look at the beauty of the next ayah. And this is the one that is scary. It says, مَثَلُهُمْ كَمَثَلِ الَّذِي اسْتَوْقَدَ نَارًا فَلَمَّا أَضَاءَتْ مَا حَوْلَهُ ذَهَبَ اللَّهُ بِنُورِهِمْ وَتَرَكَهُمْ فِي ظُلُمَاتٍ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. He says, their example is like the one who has lit a torch, lit a fire. Now if I were to say to you that I'm standing in the middle of a room, let's say we turn all the lights off, it's pitch black, okay? No light, and I have a lamp, okay? That lamp, I have lit it, but there's no light. Will you say that that lamp's any good? Will you? No. That lamp is no benefit. I've lit it, the fire is lit, but there's no benefit from that lamp. The ayah, it says these people, it is as if their example is of them who light the torch. And when they light it, what does God do? He smites the nur. He darkens the nur. And he leaves them in darkness they cannot see. So when the Mufassirin, they explain this verse, they say it's a strange circumstance of the munafiqeen. He says the nur of Allah was in front of them. And by this, they say Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. He is standing in front of them, giving them the dalil, the proof. And even then, they don't want to accept it. Nur is in front of their eyes. My dear brothers and sisters, Imam Hussein on the day of Ashura didn't stand there and say, the book of Allah is between me and you. Is there any grandson of a prophet, any offspring of a prophet in this world other than me today? There is no nur in front of the eyes of these people. The nur is there. But the darkness has enveloped them and left them not able to see. It's reported that when somebody asked Imam al-Rida alayhi salatu wassalam, that what does it mean that Allah took their nur and left them in the darkness, that they could not see anymore, their view was gone? He explains that he pulled from them his support. His support was pulled from them. Number two, that the choices that they made were no longer guided by him. He let them make their own choices. Ya Allah, may Allah never take that from us. May Allah guide our choices in every moment. And number three, he took his lutf away from them. When he explains the lutf, yes, the lutf of Allah is the supple arm, the supple hand of God that helps you. Yes, everything that is overt, everything that is clear and apparent in our life, we can see it. We thank Allah for it. But have you ever wondered about those things that Allah gives us that we don't see? That controls us in the hidden? That averts us away from pain and suffering and damage? Wal-'ayadu billah, we do things that we harm ourselves and yet Allah guides us away from it. He takes us away. Moreover, it's reported that our Imams have explained that the lutf of Allah is the imamah. It is the imamat. It is the hand of Allah that guides us constantly. And so when Allah takes that away from them, imagine the state of the munafiq. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, how our state must be. And what does it do? It puts you in a position that you don't know whether you are in the right or wrong. And not only that, you cause yourself to perpetually worsen your state. That's why the Quran constantly is mentioning that these people, they have chosen to be misguided. And they are going perpetually in a state of that misguidance. They describe that when Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam became he took the khilafah, he accepted the khilafah even though he did not want it. They say Al-Walid came to him, one of the Banu Umayyah, and he said to him, "O Abu al-Hasan, we are ready to accept you as the Khalifa and give you the bay'ah, but we have some conditions." Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says, "Speak, say what you have to say." Al-Walid, he says to him, "Look, Ali, you from the beginning of Islam, in the battle of Badr, in the battle of Uhud, in the battle of Khandaq, you have killed our fathers, our brothers, our uncles, our men. That is a fact. It is Imam Ali's sword that championed Islam. No kidding. And they were the disbelievers on the other side, the aggressors against Islam. So he says, you have killed Marwan's uncle, for instance, this person's brother, this person's cousin, this person's father, this person's son, etc. All, he goes and he lists. He says, we are willing to ignore all of that. Like they're doing some favor to Ali ibn Abi Talib. He says, we want from you that whatever we have acquired in terms of wealth, that you don't take it away from us. You let us keep the wealth. Number two, whatever positions we have been placed in, whatever status we have been given as governor, etc., that you don't remove us from those positions. Keep us in those positions, always. Amir al-Mu'mineen, he keeps listening. He says, are you finished? Walid, he says, I'm finished. What do you have to say? Imam Ali alayhi salam, he says to him, as for the killing of your brothers, your fathers, your cousins, your uncles, your sons, he says, it was not I who killed them, it was the haqq that killed them. It is the truth that killed them. And indeed, the sword of truth is the sword of Ali ibn Abi Talib. He says, as for the possessions and the things you have acquired, He says, it is not for me to determine what Allah has given and what Allah has assigned as the right of someone. I cannot tell you that you can keep it if Allah has said it does not belong to you. I cannot allow someone to take the property of someone else when Allah has assigned it to that other person. It is not my position to do so. Ya Allah, look at Ali ibn Abi Talib. He says, as far as your positions, the position that you find yourself in, he says, the Muslim nation will decide who is in the right position, who is not in the right position. No? Look at his fairness. Then he says, Quraysh has fought me from the beginning, even though it is I who has tried to lead them to the path of salvation. And he says, I will remain on this course. I will not change my course. Let them act in any way that they want. Then he says something very interesting. It's reported in the books, some of the books, that he makes this statement to Al-Walid. He says, "Man daqa alayhi al-haq, fal-batilu alayhi adiyaq." He says, for whomever upholding the truth is difficult, challenging, then denying the batil is even harder for them. Imagine. It's not just about upholding the truth, it's about denying the batil as well. Huh? What is nifaq? Nifaq is this. You present one thing in front and inside you do something different. No? Imam Ali alayhi salam. And he explains, he says, the more you deny the truth, the more you don't want to uphold the truth, batil will come in front of your face and it will be even harder for you to deny that.
Nara Hazari. Nara Salawat.
Imagine. And my dear brothers and sisters, we are the Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib. No? So we should heed the warning of our Imam. It's reported that Imam al-Hadi alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, لو ميزت شيعتي لم أجدهم إلا واصلة. He says, if I were to try to distinguish my Shia, I will only find that they are a description in front of me. They don't actually embody the description. He says, وَلَوْ امْتَحَنْتُهُمْ لَمَا وَجَدْتُهُمْ إِلَّا مُرْتَدِّينَ. He says, if I tested them, I would find that most of them are apostate. I would find that most of them are apostate. He says, وَلَوْ تَمَحَّصْتُهُمْ لَمَا خَلَصَ مِنَ الْأَلْفِ وَاحِدٌ. He says, if I scrutinize them, not one of them would be able to pass the test. Not one of them would be able to pass the test. He says, وَطَالَمَا اتَّكَأُوا عَلَى الْأَرَائِكِ فَقَالُوا نَحْنُ شِيعَةُ عَلِيٍّ. As long as they were leaning on their couches, they kept saying that we are the Shia of Ali. إِنَّمَا شِيعَةُ عَلِي مَنْ صَدَّقَ قَوْلَهُ فِعْلُهُ. The Shia of Ali are the ones who are truthful in that what they speak, they do it also. Imam Hadi. As long as they were relaxed and everything was good, everything was relaxed and comfortable, they said, we are the Shia of Ali. They kept saying it. They kept saying that we are the Shia of Ali. And Imam is saying, no. The Shia of Ali is the one who, when he speaks or she speaks, they do what they speak. This is the standard that our Imams hold us to. And you see the slippery slope on which insan is, unfortunately. And this is Karbala. I said this to you yesterday. We are our own worst enemy. Uhud was a problem not because of the kuffar, it was a problem because of the disobedient Muslims. No? Saqifa was a problem, why? Because of kuffar? Because munafiqeen? Yes, munafiqeen are there. But because of who? So-called Muslims. No? All of this. Karbala is that. Karbala is the face of Islam facing the grandson of Rasulullah. It is the pretense of Iman standing against the Imam of the time. the true Khalifa of Allah. And if that's not a warning to us, imagine what answer we have to give. It's reported that in the time of Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, that the Abbasi Khalifa would cause pain and suffering to our Imams. They would trouble them. Like with Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam, for instance. They will come in the middle of the night, they will go rifle through his, without warning, climb over the wall, come inside and ransack the house, throw everything, make a mess, bring him out of his house in the middle of that. They will trouble. They will just cause trouble. So it is described once that the Abbasi Khalifa, he sends some men to Medina and he says, light fire to the house of Ja'far ibn Muhammad as-Sadiq alayhi as-salam. The men go, they light fire to the house of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. When that happens, it's described, Imam starts to put the fire out, but the ladies in the house, they start to run. No. They run outside, he gets them out of the house, eventually he puts the fire out, he is sitting there. They say the companion comes, he sees Imam Sadiq sitting against the wall. He says, I saw him looking sad. And he said, Ya ibn Rasulillah, how is it that I see you in this state so sad? Indeed, what has happened is terrible, but this is not the first time they have troubled you like this. They have been persecuting you, tyrannizing you like this all the time. How is it that I see you like this? He says to him, he says to the companion, he says, لما اشتعلوا البيت نارا وفرت النساء ذكرت فرار نساء الحسين يوم كربلاء. And these are their nights, indeed. He says, when they lit fire to my house and my ladies ran, I remember the ladies of Al-Hussein on the day of Ashura. He says to the companion, and at least we had water to put out the fires. We had shelter to run to. But the ladies of Al-Hussein were running in the desert with no recourse, no support, no one to shield them from the oncoming sun. These ladies, my dear brothers and sisters, are taken to Kufa, taken to Sham. And when they come into Sham, they are placed in the Khariba of Sham, a place where the prison, it was a house or some form of holding area, on top of which the roof had been removed, so the sun would beat down them all day, scorching their skin. Imagine, it's reported that one day word of these prisoners in Sham reaches into the castle. And one lady from the castle, she descends down. And she comes with her entourage, with the maids, who bring her to the door of the prison. They place a chair there for her. She comes and sits down. She says, I want to see these prisoners. Who are they? They're ladies. This woman from the palace, she sits down on the chair. She looks inside. She sees the ladies who are in the prison. She says to them, min ayya biladin antun. From what country have you come from? One lady from inside of the prison, she says, Nahnu min al-Madina. The lady who's sitting on the chair, she says, Al-Mudun kathira. There are many cities. Which city are you from? The answer from inside the prison, it says, Min Madinati Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. From the city of Rasulullah. As soon as she says this, The lady who is sitting on the chair, she gets down from the chair and sits on the ground. So the one who is in the prison, she asks, she says, why did you get down from your chair? She says, because you took the name of the city of Rasulullah. And indeed, if you are of the people of that city, then I have to honor you. This lady from the castle, from the palace, she says, I used to be there. Tell me, I want to know about its house. I want to know about the people of Medina. The lady in the prison, she answers her, tell me, what are your questions? Who do you want to know about? The lady from the palace, she says, tell me about the house of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Where are the people of this house? Where is Al-Hussein ibn Ali? Where is Kulthum? Where is Ali Zain al-Abidin, Ali ibn al-Hussein? Where is Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, the brothers of al-Hussein? Where are the children of al-Hussein? The Rawi, he says that the answer comes from inside of the prison, saying, إن سألتي عن دار علي فلقد خلفناها تنعى نفسها. If you are asking about the house of Ali, we have left it behind. تنعى أهلها. It is mourning its members. وإن سألت عن الحسين فرأسه عند زوجك يزيد. If you are asking about the head of Al-Hussein or about Al-Hussein, his head is with your husband Yazid. This is Hind sitting in front of the prison. وإن سألتي عن أبا الفضل العباس, if you are asking about Abbas, فعلى المشرعة مرضوخ الجبين قطيع اليسار واليمين والسهم نابت بالعين. If you are asking about Abbas, the body is left. The head has been severed. The wounds on the body, the arms severed from that body. And if you are asking about Kulthum, she is here in this prison. If you are asking about Ali ibn al-Hussein, he is here sick, cannot get up and stand from the fever and the illness. Finally, Hind, she asks, وأسألك أين سيدتي ومولاتي زينب بنت علي? Tell me about one more person. I don't know where she is. Where is my master Zainab bint Ali? The voice of that same woman from inside of the prison, it comes. أنا زينب اللي يحشون عني. I am Zainab. Don't you recognize me? I am that same Zainab. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا على محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله. اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك ونقسم عليك بحق الزهراء وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها لعن الله الظالمين. اللهم شافي كل مريض، اللهم رد كل غريب، اللهم فك كل أسير، اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك يا كريم. اللهم وفقنا لمراضيك وجنبنا معاصيك وثبت أقدامنا على صراطك المستقيم وخذ بأيدينا إليك يا أرحم الراحمين وفرج عنا يا الله فرجا عاجلا قريبا كلمح البصر أو أقرب من ذلك وافرغ علينا صبرا وتوفنا مسلمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين يا حسين
يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين
رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش کربلا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے جل گئے ہیں سارے خیمے جل گئے ہیں سارے خیمے الکبا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے چھن گئی ہے سر سے چادر کیا کرے بنت علی چھن گئی سر سے چادر کیا کرے بنت علی اس طرف دریا کنارے اس طرف دریا کنارے بابا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے آ گئی شام غریبا ہو گئے قیدی حرم آ گئی شام غریبا ہو گئے قیدی حرم آب لے پاؤں کے روئے آب لے پاؤں کے روئے راستہ خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے رو چکی زینب بھرے گھر کو سرے گرد و بلا رو چکی زینب بھرے گھر کو سرے گرد و بلا کربلا سے شام تک کربلا سے شام تک ساری فضا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے چھن گئی ہے سر سے چادر کیا کرے بنت علی چھن گئی سر سے چادر کیا کرے بنت علی اس طرف دریا کنارے اس طرف دریا کنارے بابا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے ہائے زینب رو رہی ہے کربلا خاموش ہے حسین 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 حرام طول کا کر اشقیاں نے لوٹ لیا حرام طول کا کر اشقیاں نے لوٹ لیا حرام طول کا کر اشقیاں نے لوٹ لیا حرام طول کا گھر اشقیاں نے لوٹ لیا حرام طول کا گھر اشقیاں نے لوٹ لیا نبی کی آل کو اہل جفا نے لوٹ لیا نبی کی آل کو اہل جفا نے لوٹ لیا حرام طول کا گھر اشقیاں نے لوٹ لیا گئی وطن کو تجھے نہ کرو کہ فرمایا گئی وطن میں تجھے نہ کرو کہ فرمایا گئی ارے گئی وطن میں تجھے نہ کرو کہ فرمایا مدینے والو بے حیا نے لوٹ لیا در یتیم کسی بے حیا نے لوٹ لیا خراب دور کا گھر اشقیاء نے لوٹ لیا خراب دور کا گھر اشقیاء نے لوٹ لیا کسی سفیر کا نام وقت سے چھن گیا حلقوں کسی سفیر کا نام وقت سے چھن گیا حلقوں کسی سفیر کا نام وقت سے چھن گیا حلقوں کسی کا باغ جوانی خزاں نے لوٹ لیا کسی کا باغ جوانی خزاں نے لوٹ لیا خراب دور کا گھر اشقیاء نے لوٹ لیا خراب دور کا گھر اشقیاء نے لوٹ لیا
السلام علیکم یا رسول اللہ السلام علیکم یا حبیب اللہ السلام علیکم یا باعث الفلاح السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ السلام علیکم یا عبد اللہ السلام علیکم یا ابن رسول اللہ السلام علیکم یا ابن امیر المؤمنین وابن سید المسلمین السلام علیکم یا ابن فاطمة الزہرا وابن سيدتنا نساء العالمين السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء السلام عليك يا شمس الشموس السلام عليك يا ليس النفوس راضي بالقدر والقضاء علي بهم مسردا السلام عليك يا أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين يا محمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد يا موسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر الزمان الأمان 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 من فتن الزمان السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان سهل الله تعالى فرجك واسنحل الله مخرجك ودبورك السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته وإمام زمانه اللهم كل وليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا ناصرا ودليلا